Now, if you can figure out why Charlie Kirk was killed, then you can also surmise who killed him. There are many things that Charlie talks about in which I do not agree with. But then there are some glimmers of light that peek through from time to time. As I mentioned in previous videos, I know very little about Charlie Kirk, but in diving to his videos, I can both be appalled and in agreement with some of his points of view. Now, I'm not a Republican and or conservative by any stretch of the imagination, nor do I consider myself a member of the Democratic Party either. In doing so, forces me to align myself with points of view that I may not agree with. But it's not about left or right, red or blue. It's about right and wrong. It allows me to agree to disagree or to find consensus with opposing views. Now, as intelligent as Charlie was, he allowed himself to be sucked into this MAGA movement. A movement which its only purpose is to deceive and muddy up the waters for those in this country that are not critical thinkers, to include our youth. Charlie had a big influence in the conservative movement, especially with the up-and-coming generations. There are entities that needed and wanted that movement. They realized that Trump is long in the tooth and doesn't have much time left. They needed to look forward in solidifying the next generation. Now, even with all of Charlie's rhetoric, one could surmise that he was an impediment to using what he created as a tool for evil. For this, he had to be taken out. Taken out by some of the people who supposedly mourn his death today. Now, the next videos will give you some insight as to those possible suspects. The man they have in custody now is a scapegoat. It would appear that this is an elaborate ruse to have the American people looking in one direction, away from the actual truth. Now, this has been the calling card for every member of this new administration, to include foreign actors as well. Wake up, America. You're being played.
I think the DOJ should immediately move to unseal all the Epstein documents in the Southern District of New York.
Yeah. Everything. Everything except child sexual assault material.
I think every file should be released to the public the same way as the JFK files. Let the American people decide.
He wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. The people on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra-progressives, they often speak about human rights. They speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to take down their enemies, whether it's President Trump, who's been almost assassinated twice, or, they try to kill me here too. But they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just heartbreaking.
Question, but Bibi said, quote, I didn't like he said this, I'll be honest. You can't be MAGA if you're anti-Israel. I don't like it for a couple reasons. Other questions on Israel. I think it's very important for our audience to hear this, though, because there is an incessant campaign. And one thing a friend sent to me, interestingly, which is, okay, Charlie, we've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, so like maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. So, Ben, some people would accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse. Some people in the Israeli government are saying, again, it's all over the place, right? You have opinions all over. The claim I receive often, and we're starting our campus tour tomorrow, is that Israel is committing genocide.
Sir, my condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years.